It's a time of year again setting up the indoor greenhouse, but as you can see I'm doing it in a different place this year, and the reason for that is, if you recall, we got these from the dump, these two chairs, and this is just a good place for now to keep them, and this is where I normally do the indoor garden. I will be using this table again as always. And I've pulled them out in the middle of the room because we can still get round and use these sliding doors, and we can still get round where I am this side as well. So I've got the wood, the first shelf, this is the first one, so I've just untied the first lot and I'm going to put that on here. First shelf done, and if you recall I did this because I couldn't afford to get more shelving, and we had this great idea that Mike would give me old pallet wood to make extension shelving, and this is my even more frugal way of growing indoors rather than buying lots of shelves. So I've just got the next lot of wood in. I keep these in my room standing up like this with ties in a little corner in my room, so they're always out the way and dry. So let's put this one up. So that's the second shelf done. Now you could either add on the top or the bottom, but obviously it's better for the top because they get more sun and light there. And also when I did have them against the wall, the window before, I could put any bits I wanted to put over the top to germinate and keep them on the floor, or you could just put bigger pots on the bottom. So let's go and get the other lot of wood and put it on the top. And there we go, all ready to begin. So I don't have any heating in this room at all. It is purely sunlight, and as you see I put old bottles or similar things over the top for cloches to help germinate things, and I use the takeaway containers where you can put the lids over the top. So it's purely germinated by light and the plastic covers over the things I grow. And this is the start of the setup of my growing. I normally start end of November-ish growing indoors. The earlier you can start things off the better, because obviously then some crops need a longer growing season, and if you start early indoors this will be a good way to do it. Kit is making a bed on my slipper as always. I've just come out here and look what I've found. Mr. Colin Waffles has decided this is a cat tower. This is the cat's sofa. Good boy, Kit. Good boy. I thought Kit would be the first one on here, not Mr. Colin Waffles. And here's the good girl, the Pebbles. So all the shelves are now filled up, so no room for cat anymore. And I've put some trays underneath so that when I transplant anything growing from these, I can water them with no problems. But now Mr. Colin Waffles has decided to sleep in the trays. Seed sown on the ones on the table. Yes, don't know when that happened, but walking back, I've just noticed I have a big zucchini. There were a couple of tiny flowers on it, but nothing that I thought was going to produce. Then I see we've got one hanging here. We have another couple of flowers. I did see a third little one. That's the thing with zucchinis, they hide. That's why I couldn't see it. This is the one I've showed you. And the other one's inside, hanging down there. As I say, there's a few more flowers lurking. So that was a nice surprise. And as you can see, I'm working on the bottle farm. I'm just topping up any that weren't quite full enough for what I want to grow. And I've left a little corridor in between. So this year, instead of stumbling over them all in a mess, I can actually get to them. So I'm going to move these ones, sort these out, what's growing here, and then continue putting more bottles. So this area is going to be one of my bottle farms. And here's some more bottles that my volunteer started filling up for me. So that will be my bottle farm, and I can start growing out here now. So I can actually grow outside using this method November, December, January and so on. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. But right now I've had to stop because the back doesn't allow me to do any more right now. And while I'm over here in the nursery area, that's one lot of lettuce, carrots. I'm just moving all this area around because I'm now going to get rid of this suitcase, because only very shallow things grow because it's got metal bars in one side and the other side's not much better. So I'm going to get rid of them. I could keep one side for a tray, but it's too deep. I'm going to have to keep emptying it, and there's no point putting holes in it or it defeats the object of a tray. So I'm taking the homemade compost out of that. I've transplanted some more lettuce, and these were the first ones up here that I did. And amongst the grass behind, I think there's onions. Yes, there are onions. Wow, they've got big since I've been away. Very good. When I say I've been away, I work on different areas of the land, and when I come back, it's a surprise. So that's pretty good. The pomelo tree needs weeding, but it's there. Some ginger growing there. The artichokes are already coming through everywhere. and I haven't even had a chance to clear the old bits yet. I've shown you the big orange tree for a while, and this has super-size oranges on, really enormous oranges, all over one side. They only grow over this side. It's a smaller one. There's some big ones over here. You have to spot them because they're green. They're blending in at the moment. That one's a super huge one. I filled some more pots up from what my volunteer Stephanie did. She did a huge amount of them, but there's always space for more. So any more containers or bottles I've got, these ones I salvaged from the dumps. I try to fill them as soon as I can from the manure from the stables and or from my homemade compost. So these were more bottles since my volunteers were here that I filled. So that is my nursery area. Nothing seeded in them yet. It's a case of filling them, so any rain we get, we'll water them down nicely. And also a good tip is, do put your compost or whatever you're growing in early before you even want to consider growing things, because then if you water them or if it rains, any weeds or grass seeds will come up first. Then you can weed them out and know it should be clear, and in that way when you start growing your seeds, when you would have these grass pieces growing up amongst your seeds and you're not sure what's grass and what's weeds, you would have already weeded these out rather than having to weed around your seeds. So that's my gardening tip for today. Loads of radish coming up and more loofahs to harvest. The peppers are growing well. There's lots of peppers everywhere, and also these grow into really huge red hot peppers, really long ones. I'm just turning at the moment. Lots more peppers and Mexican chili peppers, which are the small ones but very potent. Wildflowers growing everywhere around my land. And I did transplant some broccoli down here that I grew in a bottle. I haven't been down here since, but yes, they seem to be growing. These ones seem to have taken rather well. And I do keep these netted, as you can see. More peppers. And in my sandbags there are some onions, and there's bigger ones in this one. And beautiful flowers. On these aubergines or eggplants. And if you get these, all you have to do is don't pull off any flowers for pollination, just bend it very gently to another one and rub the yellow parts together. So that's the bottle farm ready in this section, all ready to seed. And as you see, I've done different version this year. I've done them back to back and left a little walkie space in between. Let's see if that works better this year. Extra ones, I've put some here. Eventually I want to dig all this out and make this another bottle farm. For now, I'm just round the edge. So I've got a couple of bits to dig out of there. And then we've got some more along here. And we've got some more along here. So that is the setup for this year's bottle farm. As I said previously, I can start growing now, grow all through winter, and this is how I've done it year after year now. So that is going to be the start of my seeds here and indoors for my food for the year. Thanks for watching, and as always, Maraki.